49, 350, give or take, days to the general election, and from what we are seeing or being treated to, it's gonna be a really bruising battle for the 2027 general election. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, we are live from the broadcasting house here in Nairobi and also on all our social media platforms. Many thanks for joining us. Allow me to introduce my panelists first before we break it down, beginning from my immediate left, where we have Honorable Beatrice Mora. Mora is not only in business, but she's also a governance expert. Karibu sana to the program.
Thank you so much.
Next to her, we have Masden Kibet. Kibet is a communication consultant and also a political analyst. Karibu sana, Kibet.
Asante sana.
Just next to him, we have one of our regulars, Oscar Omondi. Oscar Omondi is a political analyst. He's also a university don, and many thanks indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much, Troy, for having me.
Tupa sana bwana.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we shared this program. It's been a while.
Welcome. Perhaps to begin, yesterday we did see that the United Opposition had a meeting yesterday and pledging that they will only field one candidate. And we know very well, beginning from 92, where we had coalition, but unfortunately nothing much. We had 97, we had 2002, which was quite big when it came to coalition. But judging from what you have seen, Oscar, will the opposition, they are calling themselves the United Opposition, will they be able to weather the storm when it comes to a one presidential candidate?
It's normally said that when you have nothing to do in an organization, call for a meeting. Yeah, there's no business. If there's no business or anything actionable, what do? You call for a meeting just to tell people that we sat there was a meeting. And the idea of, and I told you it's long since I saw you, and the last time I was here, we were discussing about United Opposition meeting to say that they're going to field one candidate. How many times can they be meeting to say they are going to field one candidate? You know, it's 359 days to elections. Now United Opposition should come and tell you, Troy, we've decided on one candidate. But I know next week they will meet again and say, we are going to field one candidate. Okay, that's monotonous information that they've given us many times. It's boring information. How would 10 people meet and then the resolution of that, even you as a journalist, if you're sent by your media house to go and report them, you have the report. If you tell me United Opposition meeting today at Safari Park, and I've been sent from this station to go and check, I don't have to go, because I know they will say we are going to field one candidate. So nothing new, there was nothing new in that meeting. What was new in that meeting that I will tell you, that meeting, there was no Sifuna in that meeting, who is now the new kid on the block for the opposition politics, and the owner of the Murima, Agashago. The two were not there. And we know that from the look of things, if crowds are something to go by, those two have been pulling big crowds.
Massive.
The two. But they were not there. We had Martha Karua, and we had Justin Muturi, and we had Eugene Wamalwa, and we had, who again? Matiang'i was there?
Yes, Matiang'i was there.
Matiang'i was there. And from the look of things, when those two misses, and that to me was a serious, crucial meeting, if that opposition is united. So you can tell me, I can tell you for a fact that the ununited opposition met yesterday and said for the almost millionth time that they will field one candidate. What can we use to say? The only time the opposition united to do something against government was only 1 year in the election. It was in 2002. 97, the opposition didn't unite. Yes. Because, you know, when one Jindo Matiba comes back from London, says, let the people decide. And I think Momunyoro is saying, let the people decide, because of the numbers. And when Matiba said that, then that was it. So we had Ford Kenya, and we had Jaramogi going his way, and Ford Asili, and you know what happened. Then it forced the influence and the support and everything of Raila Odinga, which did an ambush at Uhuru Park, pronouncing Kibaki Tosha. This was also to the tail end of everything. So for united opposition to be there, people must swallow their pride. But the person who has to swallow his pride is the person who has the highest influence. Like at that particular time in 2002, Raila had a serious influence for him to swallow his pride, to say that the other person that nobody expected, because he had the following of a whole community, the Luo, for example. He had made inroads among the Luyas and all this, and that is when he said, and even the coast, and when he said Kibaki Tosha, it was workable. I'm not sure amongst these people in the opposition who has the highest influence among the people. Somebody like Alonso Musyoka should be the flag bearer. And why did Odinga lose most of the time is politics in this year? Two things.
Allow me to go back to my panelists. What we have seen in the last couple of weeks and months cannot end up well, right? If we cannot have political rallies, if we have a shrinking democratic space, we cannot have peaceful, fair, free, credible elections. Just like Katekon is saying.
The father of dialogue died. So there's no dialogue. The country is divided. And our divide is so much.
But that makes us, the good thing about it makes us, that's one of our diversity. If you believe in broad-based government, maybe I don't believe in broad-based government, that makes us, that don't have to make us degenerate into.
There's too much fake news outside there. And people are consuming fake news in social media and all this. The other previous times, in 2007, you realize we didn't have serious, not too many people were in these social media platforms.
Yes.
And you see, when this fake news cannot be controlled, then people will even fight because over fake news. Before Homa Bay happened, people were beating drums of war. We're going to colonize Homa Bay and all that. And those people were getting ready and getting agitated, and there was provocation. And these things are happening. You know very well, where is Linda Mwananchi going next? They're going to Meru, the place. And in Meru, Kindiki is usually struggling to consolidate that part, the eastern. So he might not allow Linda Mwananchi to be there with the Mwangaza, and there might be still violence.
That's really an accusation. What do you mean? Kindiki will not allow?
You know, Gladys Wanga.
I think we are free to move any place and also.
Gladys Wanga was also trying to cut her space. There's a time that was mentioned about Gladys Wanga being a running mate to President William Ruto, but she's shown that she's very strong. Whatever, politics and this violence is just politics by other means. And she's put in a very strong fight for her space in Homa Bay. Kindiki has been in Meru or in Embu area trying to put a very strong position about the Mount Kenya East. And Ruku, is saying that Mount Kenya East is not part of it. And this rhetoric that has been going on. And now Linda Mwananchi wants to go and provoke. And you see the time Linda Mwananchi tried going to Murima, the Gachagua told them, no, Murima, you don't touch Murima. And you know what happened to the bodyguard, to the driver of Kirungu Kangata before he told line. For him to toe line to where he is now, Kirungu Kangata governor, is because there was violence on him. When your driver gets shot, if
okay, I think we've started on a very heated note. Okay. But the question is, and I would like allow me actually to engage Marsden in regards to the united opposition and what exactly Rasta Sethekon, who is the chair of IEBC, has said. He has reminded us of 2007, and he cannot be talking about 2007 if he hasn't seen the political drums getting beaten so hard.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I've liked what the chairman of IBC has launched, the Bila Noma campaign.
Yes.
It's a roll call that we need to go into this election that despite where you come from, where ethnic organization where you come from, I think this election comes and go, and we should live as brothers and sisters. And the united oppositions have always been on this chest-thumping war about we are going to win this coming election, and if you look at the ideological perspective, they don't have any ideas to give to the common mwananchi about issue by issue or action by action what they're going to do. They are just a roll call is that we need to get this guy away from the government. And given that they've said that they are going to use a scientific method to choose their one united presidential leader, and each one of them going outside to their supporters, they always say that they have presidential ambitions. It means that everybody are selfish to their interest, in that they don't want to give Kenyans the alternative. They are going to bring the alternative solutions resolution, because at the end of the day, the issue of 19th century and 21st century cannot be solved at the same time, because the issue of 19th century, it's a lesson to be learned that we need to do better as a country.
From Masden, Madam Mora, I'm looking at even the many political parties that we have seen mushrooming, the latest one being the People's Party by Ndindi Nyoro. And we know very well in the next couple of months we will be having a number of more political parties. Based on what we have seen, is it more or less the fortification of our democracy, or more or less another tact to maybe scuttle some of the votes, either from the president's side or the united opposition side?
Thank you. I think the political parties that are coming up right now, I think it's the people of Kenya who want to exercise democracy. When so many parties are coming up, it's a show that Kenyans really want to exercise multi-party and exercise their rights, and not necessarily coming in and dividing the united opposition or the ruling party, but I think it's more of people wanting to exercise their democratic right. Yes.
We also are joined now by one of our resident analysts, Sami Meli, who is a political analyst. Thank you so much for making time and for honoring the invite. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Maybe to begin where we have, I'm quite sure you've already warmed up in regards to what we have seen in the political scenes. We have seen so many political parties. We are also seeing, just like Oscar is mentioning, every day when we have a united opposition presser, and I have attended many, we are always reminded that we will come up with one single presidential candidate. And from what we have seen, interest also play out. Going back to 92 to 97, we skipped 2002 when we went to 2007, we did see these political formations. But when it came to the unity part, ODM was Orange Democratic Movement. Then we had Orange Democratic Movement by Kalonzo Musyoka, Kenya, which was a splinter group from the main ODM. Are we likely to see the same happening in 2027?
Thank you very much, Ben Troy. I'm glad to join you. Yesterday it was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. How old are you?
My ID will testify.
All right.
Now, the issue with the opposition ousting the sitting president, I think they are time bad. One, they are buying a lot of time by saying they will dialogue. At the end of the day, we are just less than 350 days to the general election. Number two is that the main principles, for example, regarding Gachagua, keeps saying that they are the ones going to run. Kalonzo Musyoka is always telling the Eastern branch that he is the candidate. And if they don't come together in good time, they might be time bad. Number two, beating the track record of President William Ruto will be very difficult for them if they don't come up with a serious agenda. Kenyans are not just after getting Ruto out. They want to know what is their plan. And my big question to the opposition will be, if they settle on one presidential candidate, will that translate to votes? because we don't have a movement like Baba's movement where if he decides this way, everybody follows. I would hear some friend the other day, I told them, what if the opposition settles on Rigathi Gachagua, for example, if the constitution allows him to run, then will the Abagusi follow, take their votes to Rigathi Gachagua? Will the eastern branch where Kalonzo comes from, and you know Kalonzo has always been sly when it comes to politics. He might take the back door and do his gigs as he always does, and makes a handshake with President William Ruto. So this opposition, for example, the Nyanza bloc, will they back Matiang'i, for example, the way Baba had a solid bloc? You see, it is not just about running, and it's not just about winning. It is 50 plus 1. 50% of the votes plus 1. Will they make it? Looking at the track record, the other day the president just launched the affordable housing in Mukuru. Those are just 1,000. There are 14,000 others he will launch very soon. There are 250,000 housing units all over the country. There are 400 markets he's going to open. There are roads in thousands of kilometers he's going to launch. Now, who will come up other than the chicken not reaching the 17th floor? What other agenda do they have that will make us, as a voter, you know, if, for example, today I'm 40, by the time these people, we get the next election, I'll be 45. If I'm 55 at this time, I'll be 60. How am I going to survive in a situation whereby we put just somebody for the sake of removing somebody? We want somebody, for example, President Mwai Kibaki set the record high. President Uhuru Kenyatta came and kept it there higher. Now William Ruto has even put it the highest. How will they come up? I know the only thing that people have against William Ruto is the events of June 24th. And that is a mistake that happened. And as Kenyans, we shouldn't just look back all the time. You don't drive your car by looking at the side mirror all the time. You have the whole mirror in front of you. Are we going to improve SHA? Are we going to ensure that we have more 100,000 teachers being employed? Are we going to ensure that we have hundreds of thousands of kilometers of roads being made? They have to come up with an agenda and tell us, this is the agenda. Who is the face of the opposition? Supposing it is not Sifuna that they are going to front as the presidential candidate, will they have the Western Bloc, for example? If they, for example, settle on Matiang'i, will the Western, the Central, and everyone come behind Matiang'i? And remember, in politics, whenever you look like a project, you end up getting the project tagged, and therefore you cannot move. We want a self-made politician like President William Ruto. He came from nowhere, and now is the president at the top. Okay. So the opposition should think about the right candidate that will sell, not just a candidate.
There's something you've said about 2024. I'm quite sure, even if we go to the 2024, after the Gen Z uprising, the president did give a speech to the nation, and there are a number of things that he mentioned, of which some we can really argue about in regards to whether they have been implemented or not. There was an audit of our debt and exactly where those loans went. He talked about an inclusive government. We did see politicians come into the government. He did talk about, you know, some of these abductions will be ending. Actually, in one of the pressers in the State House, he did mention that this thing is going to end, but that hasn't been done yet. Talked about accountability and corruption. Well, that's also a topic for discussion. Okay, think about that as you think about the answer you're going to give me. Allow me to go back to Oscar in regards to election preparedness. My question is in regards to this. Erastus Ethekon Edung did say that we will be ready by 2027 for the general election, but even the boundaries, delimitations, that deadline is done and dusted. From what we have seen and from how we are conducting our politics, are we ready for the 2027 general election?
You see, before I go to where about ethical preparedness for the general election, one thing that my friend here talked about the opposition, and this idea of them not having an agenda, them not having a plan. You see, I think they should do something about it. And for an opposition like this one, if we go one time, because they've never done that. It's never happened. So if it's meant to be a reality, then to beat an incumbent, you need to have radical issues. For example, you remember when in 2002 there was the idea of free primary education.
Yes.
That was a radical one over that particular time. It was sellable to an idea that everybody bought into. And free primary education, and you know what free primary education has done in this community today. Even the young people that you see, most of them have a problem because our education, many people got an education because of that idea of the free primary education. It was implemented. Probably not well, but it was implemented, the free primary education that we have. And it was a radical move to beat an incumbent. So the government by that time had no big idea, like whatever the opposition, the Mwai Kibaki and Raila after declaring the Kibaki Tosha. But they also had a very big radical agenda that was going to shift. And it changed, shift, and people listened to it. For this particular opposition, most of the time they talk about removing of SHA to reintroduce NHIF. My goodness. NHIF had 8 million people in its record. 8 million. 80 million people in NHIF.
With a population of 60 million.
SHA
Oscar, are you saying that
has 30 million, almost 30
for the
million.
purpose of this, are you saying there are no challenges in SHA?
There are no?
Are no challenges in SHA?
Yeah, we can't address challenges.
There are challenges, yes.
Let's be very honest. Kenya is watching.
I'll give you a practical example of what I did myself. I've gone to use the SHA and it worked. And I didn't get to know how much I should be paying. I've not known how much I should be paying, but I've already been treated.
Are you saying there are no challenges in the health system?
There are many challenges in any system. You've just told
We are talking about the health system.
You've just told us, our viewers, that there were technical challenges in
Yes.
So challenges are always everywhere.
I can add
the viewers
something on
excuse you.
Yeah.
Because there are technical challenges. You get me right?
But we can fix our technical challenges there within 2 minutes. We cannot fix SHA in a day.
That, Oscar, your mic is not working. It's a technical challenge. And I will say, can my next colleague do before they fix my mic again? Challenges are always there in any system. There are no systems that are 100% tamper-proof.
My point is, you know, when we talk about systems, we are talking about a very crucial system, the health system in the country.
But can you compare? Okay,
We cannot.
Can you compare? Can you tell us that now your idea is let us get back to NHIF? Really?
I'm not saying
you can only say.
I'm asking about challenges in SHA. I haven't given any recommendation on how it is supposed to be done.
The flag bearer of Wiper said in a radio interview that what he will do with the SHA, he will revert back to NHIF.
He will cancel it on day
He
one.
will cancel it on day one and revert back to NHIF.
All right, let's go back to the election. Let's go back to the election because of the interest of time as well.
That is equivalent to what we have in London. For example, like that.
Oscar, I would want us to be very categorical that there are challenges and how maybe we can deal with them. But away from the health challenges, my point is on now election preparedness.
Your point is election preparedness.
Yes.
I think the IBs that we have today, based on how they've done the by-election and based on their preparedness, and the fact that there was one thing when we discussed with you again 5-6 months ago about IEBC when it was put in place, I told you that the first thing, IEBC needs to win trust of our people. Because the previous IBCs were thrown out of office because they were not trustworthy. You know, the Sakasana committee, Kivuitu committee and all this, they were thrown out because of lack of accountability and lack of trust amongst the people. I think this one currently has the trust of the people. But the opposition will always continue poking holes. And for election preparedness, it's not about IBC. It's about the society. For example, issues to do with violence. You know, IBC might not have the prerequisite systems to put in place ideas of dealing with violence because we have other institutions that work around it. We have NSIC, we have things like DCI, other institutions that help IBC to work. And IBC did a meeting like 3 weeks ago where they put in a multi-sectoral system to help deal with some of these things. Issues of campaign financing. You know very well that IBC has put a ceiling. But now, do we have a system that will guide to make sure that Troy has not used 20 million or 100 million in his campaign for whatever. You know, we don't have those systems still in the country. So it's not about IBC per se. It's about other systems and the general public.
But
It's
my
not
question
about-
is on
it's not
IBC,
about
because
the-
we're going to touch
Yeah,
on
because
NCIC
what I'm
as
saying,
well.
it's never about the referee. The players are stakeholders. The fans are stakeholders. They are fans, they are players, they're everybody else.
That is why I mentioned IEBC in specific, because we're going to look at NCIC as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are many, including the people themselves and DCI. There are many
Everybody
stakeholders,
must
including
be
the
in place,
clergy.
including the media.
My point is on IEBC alone.
I think, to me, if you ask me, IBC is about the money and about the preparedness. I think they're prepared. I think the systems they've put in place have always been good.
Okay.
And the elections have never been bad so much. It was always just people just spoke. And the opposition most of the time, even Raila Odinga and, had serious problems with IEB sometimes. And these are things that are managed by human beings. And sometimes, if you don't support Ethicon, he needs the goodwill of you, me, and the entire system to help him deliver for us. But if we think Ethicon will deliver for us, we are waiting for something that might never happen. The violence will go into violence. And the police also must be put in place. I think we've recruited around 6,000 police who are passing out. More police are in this and everything in this. Issues to do with whatever we're talking about abductions. I don't think that the rate of abductions that we had...
No. Let's not talk about rate.
Yeah.
The rate of any abduction.
There's no good evidence.
It's not in our constitution.
There's no good evidence.
Yes.
We've had cases where people abduct themselves.
Even if one person is one abducted person is way too many.
I don't think.
Very true.
I don't know if we have.
All right. Let's first of all cross over to Narok, where the president is. But when I come back, Marsden, the same question: do you believe IBC is better prepared for election? And the reason I'm asking this is because we can take stock from the by-elections that we've had, including the last one where IEBC conducted itself in Ol Kalou. Are we ready? We're talking about IEBC alone. I know there are other stakeholders, so let's focus on IEBC. The by-election that we had in Ol Kalou could have been a litmus test for IEBC.
Before I come back to your question, my brother has said a very critical issue.
Yes.
And I'd also advocate it. And since the president launched the national conclave about the Vision 2060, the issue of healthcare. The issue of healthcare is very critical to common mwananchi in our country. And right now, let's say, for example, education system. Why the government was able to implement 100,000 teachers in a single year is because it was not devolved. Education was not devolved. So I'm into that. Healthcare should be returned back to the government in a sense that level 1, 2, and 3 should be left to county government to play with it. Mtu anakuja anapewa Panadol anaenda nyumbani.
Yes.
Governor anabaki nayo. Level 4, 5, 6. The national government will work on that. Because they will, the issue of strikes for nurses, doctors, itaisha. And then the issue of IBC preparedness.
Yes.
Election is a process, and election is what Maraga said in 2017 is that election is won on the ballot, on the polling station, not through throwing words, throwing tantrums, throwing so many words. Because if you are not prepared for election, you'll never win an election. And one thing about from Ol Kalou was a surgical to this administration in that I remember in 1997, President Moi lost in Kipipiri. The same history will never end. History will always repeat itself. And it was very crucial for Moi re-election in 1997. And Moi lost the Kipipiri election through bringing other stakeholders to Kipipiri. So he thought that bringing so many government machineries and operations will help him win the election. And the election is always local. If you want to win an area, it's through local campaign. Local campaign there's no interference from other parties and other stakeholders. So if you are not prepared well enough for this election, don't come out to tell us that the election has already been stolen. I'll give you an example. Today, if you go to polling station, There's one person who favorites, his favorite is the MCA. He'll just want to vote for the MCA and leave the other 6 ballots alone. The other one, his preferred candidate is the president. So he'll prefer voting for the president and leave other. If you don't have a good technical team to take you through it, will you say it has been stolen? No. So election is a preparedness. So it's something that you need to have a secretariat, you need to have people from the grassroots levels, people from other stakeholders to help you to prepare for it.
Beatrice, still talking about election preparedness, let's look at the preparedness of candidates. We have seen during campaigns for the by-election that we have been, I've actually covered 2 by-elections, one this year and one end of last year, and I can tell you sometimes it becomes really, really dirty. For the members who will be vying, and I'm quite sure you'll also be seeking a political seat, how has the environment been? The reason I'm talking about it, I did mention the concerns in regards to the shrinking democratic space, and I remember about 2-3 weeks ago here, I interviewed the ODM Secretary General Catherine Omanyo, and she said that from the threats to text messages to insult, there's some of what have characterized her rise to one of the top seats in one of the biggest political parties in the country. So I would like you to speak in regards to candidates themselves. I remember on Olkalau, guys, because of the tensions that were there, 1,000 police officers were deployed to a constituency with less than 100,000 people, just to tell you how heated our campaigns are.
Yeah, first of all, I think an election is a process of building credibility. You don't just wake up and walk into a polling station and expect to be voted or to vote for somebody. Candidates have a timeline whereby they prepare, whereby they process their credibility and talk to the voters, talk to their people, arrange the grassroots, and get their visibility being seen all over. You just don't wake up in the morning and say, now 2027 is coming. Like we have just said, we have less than 350 days to an election. So what is the preparedness of a candidate, each individually, planning to run for an election post? Because here, not all of us out here who are speaking about going to be in the ballot will reach there. Some will. Some people, I can say, they can come and say, I'm a candidate for such and such a position, I want to vie, because you've heard that somebody else wants to vie from the same place. Other candidates can buy other candidates to go and be a stumbling block for others. So it all depends. But at the end of the day, the people, the grassroots, when you go to the grassroots and organize your people, talk to the people, be seen, and then as we approach now the 2027 elections, before we even go to IBC, before we forward our papers to IBC, who are these people who are going to reach the ballot? I can talk about women more especially.
Yes.
We are having an issue right now, and I'm worried about how we are going to achieve this 2/3 gender rule because of the violence that we are seeing across the country, and more especially targeting the women candidates. And this has brought a lot of fear for the women. By the time we reach 2027, I'm so afraid that most of us are going to shy away because of fear of intimidation, one, fear of the winsome, fear of the unknown, because you saw what happened not just in Homa Bay, but it has been happening all over. Most women have been targeted, and you can even end up losing your life. So I was posing a question. What normally happens even when wounds attack women? Given that in politics, women are perceived to be a weaker gender that is supposed to be favored. So where does it reach a point when somebody decides to hurt a woman who is fighting for a democratic space? It is really not going down well with the women, and most of the women who are intending to vie are not going to vie. And even when you look at the political parties in Kenya right now, the women themselves, they don't have the spaces within the tables that make decisions. Why? Because maybe the party doesn't feel like women can be part of the decision making, which is also now derailing and making most women to shy away from this vying for political positions in our democratic space. Yeah, so I guess that we really need to address this issue of violence, and more especially violence in politics for women. Yes.
And maybe it's a good thing that you've ever vied for a political seat from that time. And when you look at the political environment that we are in right now, which one would you say is better? Are we stepping in the right direction, or are we retrogressing?
Actually, it's worse. It is even getting worse. Because even from before, there was not so much that violence than it is today. I think in 2017, 2022 was a bit heated, but we didn't experience so much violence like the one we are experiencing right now. The kind of violence that we are experiencing is people are bitter. I don't know why there's a lot of bitterness amongst ourselves, amongst the people, amongst parties. Right now, we have a sitting president, all right? And in 2027, we are going to an election. Why don't these other parties, campaign, sell their agenda, and we wait for 2027? Because, you see, we cannot fight as if we don't have a sitting president. We already have a sitting president, and we have a country that is running. Despite the small things that are not maybe auguring well with everybody else or with the opposition, I think respect must first begin from the highest office of the land. And through that, I guess we can have respect even for amongst ourselves.
Melly, allow me to also rope you in this discussion in regards to what we are talking about, the election preparedness. Let's look at one of the agencies that is involved in election preparedness, and that's the security agency. And more or less in Kenya, we're talking about the National Police Service. And somebody who has been on the spot for a number of days or a couple of days has been the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, in regards to what we have been talking about for the last couple of months, that is Gunism. And his statement did not augur well with Kenya when he said that if police have told you there are goons there, why are you going there? This is one of the major stakeholders in matters election. And just as Mora has mentioned, when it comes to 2022 and 2027, and we are not in the election yet, it seems to be a little bit more heated than in 2022. And we are not even, we have about 300 days to election.
I usually say, mjenga nchi ni mwananchi, na mbomoa nchi ni mwananchi. The buck stops with us as citizens. It's not always the police. What is our
But they have a role to play.
What is our role? We are making the police have a difficulty in performing their duties. For example, if we have to ask them questions, we ransack them when they are performing their duties. You see, and again, we bring the cameras to where they are doing their duties, and we even, forgive me for saying, bastardize them, especially when they are performing the duties. We should know that the National Police Service has several branches. We have the DCI, who do not wear uniform, NSIS, who do not wear uniform, and then the regular police who wear uniforms at specific times. Now, if a police officer is performing their duties and we interfere with the performance of those duties, we are already breaking the law. Because where your right begins is where also mine begins. Where yours ends is where also mine ends. And therefore, we should have a distinct way of dealing with rogue police officers, because we have IPOA to deal with that. In case there is any issue, we have the police stations to report. Why do we make sure, for example, look at during the demonstrations, a police officer is rightfully on duty. They are not there to defend the government. The National Police Service has existed since independence. There's no police service that belongs to Moi government. There's no police service that belongs to Kibaki. There's no police service that belongs to Uhuru. And there is no police service that belongs to President William Ruto. The National Police Service is national in nature, and they perform their functions to protect us, to make sure that there is law and order. And whenever you see them coming, maybe they have a tip-off that there is going to be some law breakers within that sector. They are usually there to maintain law and order. And without them, you may not even enjoy those rights you want to enjoy. For example, if the goons were to attack your rally, and you are the ones who are already on microphones and saying, "Your police officer atoke hapo," and then what if something happens? Then you blame the National Police Service. Now, coming to the Cabinet Secretary.
Yes.
Cabinet Secretary is there on policy issues. He doesn't direct the National Police Service to do anything.
Let's be very honest. Nobody directed him to address Kenyans. He was actually on camera.
Actually, you
talking
see,
about if the police have told you there are goons there, why are you going there? Let's begin with that statement first.
You see, the Cabinet Secretary has the freedom of expression just like anybody. Their freedoms are
Remember,
not
he's also a man
because
of
they are
accountability. In as much as he has his own mind to speak about, he also has the responsibility of the security docket in the country.
If I tell you there is a pit there, don't go there. In short, it doesn't mean that the pit doesn't exist.
No.
It has,
I think
because of intelligence. Because of intelligence, just allow me.
Don't forget that he is in charge of the docket.
The person who is in charge of the National Police Service, read your constitution well, is the Inspector General of Police.
Okay, fine.
The Cabinet Secretary comes in on policy issues.
Yes.
On policy issues only. He doesn't direct the National Police Service. And if there is any police officer who's taking directives from the Cabinet Secretary, that police officer is...
I think Kenyans really have an issue with that statement. So long as you are the one who is in charge of security in the country, there's no way you're going to just express your mind on national television and say that the police have already told you, or some intelligence have already told you there are goons there. Why would you go there? Well, that is not a statement that should be coming out of a person who is mandated with being in charge of the security docket in the country.
Because it's like you're seen, not really taking side, but you're seen to be not very independent in your analyzing of issues. But still,
why is that? I think we can put this into perspective. Whatever I've said is exactly what he said.
Yeah, if he said that, yes. I don't remember me watching that, but if he said that, that was wrong. That was wrong.
He did say that. I can tell you, I'm a journalist myself. There's nothing I'm going to be telling you that
for me, what he
could
could have said,
yes,
that the police should be able to protect all spaces for everybody in a democratic country. That is the work of the police. Yes, there are goons there, but no, those goons can't be arrested. It is criminal. They can't be arrested to allow everybody. But again, let me get back to what politics is today. The problem of balkanizing the country. The problem of terrorizing. You see, if you go to the national park, they're territorial animals which guard their territories. That is the problem why we have gotten ourselves to this space. For example, even whatever happened in Homa Bay, the perception in politics was like the people who were in the locals who attacked the Sifuna and group. And what did the leaders say? The politicians who went there, Natembea and group, that let's Gladys Wanga or Upundo Kaloma never step in Western Kenya. And then when you close down Murima is closed for everybody. Then you close other spaces. Then you keep on closing many spaces. Mombasa, see Kenya, and all, you know all that type of thing. We've never gotten what Madam was saying. We've never gotten to this type of level where saying that Murima is my area and nobody can come in. We've never gotten to that place because I've told you when I started this conversation that the father of dialogue, who controlled many spaces in terms of politics, Raila Odinga had people, his party go to Turkana, go to Western, go to Mombasa, go to everywhere else. But even within Mount Kenya, we've never had a kingpin in the name of Mwai Kibaki or Uhuru Kenyatta who can come in a podium and tell the people that Murima is locked.
I think we
you cannot lock Homa Bay.
are deviating from the
no,
point.
What I'm saying, the fact
I
that
think your
says that we lock,
statement, as much as I totally respect it, you're heading to the negative side.
No, I'm saying.
I'm really looking for the roadmap for venting.
Even the
not venting, not venting.
No, the CS,
yes.
The CS is responsible for the political space that governs security in this country. There's a CS Murkomen. The buck stops with
yes,
CS,
it stops with him.
The Internal Security Ministry.
Yes.
That is his department. He is supposed to be responsible for securing all spaces in the entire state.
Yes.
He cannot be able to say that from that statement, it is acceptable that goons are there, so don't go. It can never be acceptable. You can never accept such a statement from whoever made it, be it the CS or whoever. Because when we accept goonism, and now Madam here saying that I can't go campaign, I cannot go contest. Why? Because there are goons there. You get me right? And now you have a CS who's saying, okay, if there are goons there, then
don't go there.
Don't go there. That one particularly, the way you frame it,
let's be very honest. From whatever side you could be supporting, that
it
is
can
wrong.
never be right. Because at the end of the day,
we cannot politicize matters security.
When there's breakdown of the law, nobody is safe. Not even the goods.
In case you joined us at the roadmap to 2027, bearing in mind we have less than 350 days to the next general election, and we are just trying to see whether everything is in place, and especially when it comes to the election preparedness. Again, remember, election is, as we said, it's not only a process, but it also encompasses a lot of stakeholders when it comes to matters preparation, NCIC, IEBC, the security forces, and also you as a voter as well. So we need to make our democratic space more viable for anyone who wants to vie, and I'm glad that Madam Mora, you did point out that in 2022 general election and comparing to 2027, and mark you that we have not really opened the doors to the campaign yet, but we are seeing things that we didn't see in 2027. But perhaps to Kibet, to point out what maybe we've been able to gather from the Interior Cabinet Secretary. They are talking about, yes, in as much as we are also campaigning and you can move to any part of the country, you know, calling names, Msaliti, you know, calling people, that's also a form of violence. Yes, violence doesn't have to be, and Madam Mora will tell you that violence doesn't have to be physical.
Yes.
And we have seen a lot of cracks in our campaigns.
You know, it's very sad for a national leader to come on national TV, to come on national podium and tell Kenyans that we don't want to see agents in my polling station. It's very bad, and it's a drum of political war. What am I saying so is that there's no difference between 19th century and 21st century goon. They're all creation of political elites so that they can gain power. And the reason why, you know, the problem with goons, they have been there since before then. And having goons in our country, it can create militia. And we don't want our country to go into that direction like the Somalia, because we are a very peaceful election. And what I advocate for the youth is that we should never allow any politician to use you for his political gain, political sage in power. We should stand firm. We as the youth, we look for issue-based kind of politics and ideology.
You're a youth and a young leader. From what we've seen, including these engagements that we have the NCIC today launching the elections bill and norma. Do you believe that the youth have been adequately involved in these processes of the election process? Because as we say, it is a process.
Yes, we the youth have been involved in so many stakeholders, but what I'd want to say is that the main problem, we as the youth, we don't know how to take up the spaces. We want to be used the lubricant for someone else so that he can gain power, to gain power. So the Bila Noma campaign, it's a good initiative. It resonates to common mwananchi. And like the Nico Kadi campaign, the Nico when this Alan Ademba launched the Nico Kadi campaign, the youths came out in large numbers. And for the record, 2.4 million registered voters, majority of the youths, came out in large numbers. Yeah. So the Bila Noma campaign, it resonates with the common mwananchi at the grassroots levels. That as much as the political difference where you come from. Where we come from, we need a positive, a good environment for our businesses. We need a good environment for us. We can intermarry and move traversing around the country.
I think Troy might have asked you the wrong question. Troy probably could have asked him, are the goons involved? You know?
No. We are not that. Because there's one thing I'm going to tell you.
If you say, elections Bila Noma, all right. The stakeholders for Noma are the goons. So you have to involve the stakeholders.
Yes. No. We cannot involve goons in goons are not at the level of the stakeholders.
The people.
Yes. We can very well say, yes, without even fear of contradiction, that the security agencies are not doing a very good job. Let's be very honest. When it comes to the goonism, the security agencies are not doing a very good job. And it's not
Troy,
Kenyans talking about this.
let me say one thing is that
The issue of goons, all political difference, political stakeholders, they have goons. You'll find Gachagua has his own militia.
These words are so strong. Let's just say, as
I'm telling you, there's no politician, there's no political player in our country doesn't have goons.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now I think we're opening
but
this.
But now, do we have to go into elections with each carrying our guns?
Yeah, we all.
These goons to go and fight for us.
Because you will be unsafe if you don't have goons.
Whatever she's talking about makes a lot of sense.
But it's not the right way to go. It's not the right way to go.
We are trying to work.
You see, here is a situation whereby you find that I'm feeling threatened. I want to go for a campaign. Let's say I want to go to Meru for a campaign. Yes. Okay? And I'm in the Linda Mwananchi team. All right? So, because I'm threatened, I go with my goons.
You have to procure goons from Meru.
I can even carry my goons from Nairobi. I can carry my goons and travel with them, right? But now, the people in Meru and the ones who are perceived as our opponents, they also now feel that they feel threatened that we have also come with our goons, right? So they engage their goons too. And mind you, they are the people on the ground. So definitely their goons will overpower our goons. So where are we headed as a country?
And still,
where are we headed? Even these goons themselves.
Are you contesting?
Yes, I'm contesting.
And she should be. She will be telling us where she's contesting, and also
I just wanted to ask if she can drive to her constituency alone in her car and drive and do a political rally and get back without anybody else in his car, in her car, inside that car.
Yes. Okay. There are so many people who can be in my car, but not necessarily goons. These are my followers. Listen, we have followers. Where I come from,
are they your security?
Where I come from, let me tell you, where I come from, we don't encourage goons.
Nobody encourages goons.
All right.
No, there's this encouragement of goons because we feel threatened. Yes. You know how goonism comes in? It's feeling threatened.
So your goons are your security.
All right. They are not necessarily goons.
Kindly allow her to just
these are my security, herself. Not goons. But of course, if you mess up with me, they will work on you.
They massage your cheeks.
But they are not.
Troy, be careful.
Well.
They massage your cheeks.
I think
no, we are safe.
Oscar, just a minute. We are not. I would be very categorical that in no way are we. In no way at all are we Are we sympathizers or are we advocating for any Goonism? We are talking about followers, not goons that we have seen. Still on the same, Mora, and Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Interior, has talked about name calling, has talked about intimidation. And NCIC, I remember about a month ago, I even interviewed one of the commissioners, NCIC. I also had the Archbishop Jackson Olesapit, and everyone was really pointing their guns at the NCIC because the last time there was some politicians who had, talked some words that had been deemed to be insightful, and I asked the same question: where are we with these investigations? Where are we with this report? Talked about they were still transcribing, they were still going through the speech that was the speech that has been transcoded. And it really gave us a feel that more or less NCIC feels helpless when we talk about goons. The reason being, I covered Mbere North by-elections.
Yes.
I will be very honest, goons were there.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Many. Tulikula tiaga sana. And I also went back there for the by-election for the MCs, and the goons were there again.
Yes.
We have seen Kalau.
Yes.
Somebody would ask, and somebody asked in this panel, we had 1,000 police officers in Old Kalau, and they were not able to arrest and see these 5, 6 masked men, the goons traveling with the numberless vehicles. How do we incorporate NCIC? Let's give them a mandate, incorporate them in regards to ending the goon menace.
Ending the good menace.
Yes, let's hear from Mora, because she has been intimidated, just like she said. When a woman is going out there to ask for votes, she's asked to umeolewa wapi, where's your husband from, huyu ni mtoto wa nani? Those are the same question. That is intimidation. Just what the CS was talking about. This shouldn't be there.
You see now what happens when it comes to this goonism.
Yeah.
And when we are out there, sometimes you find that they use this word, allow me to use it, that these goonism, they have come from above. Okay? So if you are not subscribed or if you are not aligned to the current, if you are not aligned to what is wanted at that particular time, then you will be faced with those goons. So I really feel that NCIC has been intimidated.
By who?
It's a toothless dog.
It's a toothless dog, actually.
Really?
Yes, it has been intimidated. They have not been given.
Let her finish.
They have not been given their power and their mandate to work according to how they are supposed to work, because they touch, they are touched. Yeah, so like a lot is going on.
Actually, just to build on what she has mentioned, the Archbishop of the Anglican Church was seated right here, and he himself said that when the goons attacked All Saints Cathedral, nothing has been done to date.
Yes.
So what Mora is talking about could really make... All Saints is one of the, I think, one of the country's landmark. But my director, Jackie Wasolo, up there informs me that we are running out of time. So allow me to give you each some moment for your closing remarks.
My closing remark would be that for Kenya will exist before and even after these general elections. Kenya will move on with or without you. And therefore, if we are to blame the National Police Service, remember they are under and the numbers that are there is a ratio of 1 to 512 police officers. Just imagine 512 Kenyans being served by one police officer. And therefore, our country should stand the test of time. Our democracy should stand the test of time. And therefore, in the coming elections, whether your candidate wins or lose, nothing will be consequential if you don't work hard as an individual at an individual level. And therefore, we should work towards national unity, national reconciliation, and the friends you have made should always remain your friends, whether they come from whichever ethnic communities. Some of us are intermarried from other ethnic communities, and we live peacefully. Therefore, Kenyans should live to understand one another and accept and be tolerant to my views. I don't carry your brain, you don't carry mine. Allow me to exercise my rights.
Very straight. 30 seconds, Oscar?
My 30 seconds. First of all, just to respond to what Mora and you talk about.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time.
NCIC, the thing is that to define hate speech. So anything that anybody says, they have against themselves and say, what I meant was this, not what you had. You get where NCIC gets itself in a quagmire, because at the end of the day, they want to other things that have been that are not acceptable, like for the comment saying about the goods. Remember, Honorable Gachagua saying, you know, those things cannot be acceptable in a state where people are normal.
All right,
because
all right.
Now you're interfering with other people's lives again. All right. But anyway, I think, and I hope we will not kill each other.
Yes. Let's not do that.
You know, Kenya is a very beautiful country. As we always sing in the first stanza of our national anthem, the first paragraph of our national anthem, that is a beautiful country. We need to unite our country. We need to build our country. We need to be patriotic. And I would urge that elections will come and go. People will still be there. There's nothing that will change in this country. That no matter the political differences we have, let's have a solid leadership. Let's not differ on ideological, but we have a straightforward surgical, so that our country can come into the right perspective of who become the president of our country. And to the people who are watching us at home, thank you so much. And to the people of Mgwen constituency, I'll be coming there because that's where I'll be seeking my Thank you so much.
Declaring that you're vying?
I'm vying because I've been on the ground.
Where exactly?
I'm good.
All right. That's a young person who has said live on air that he will be going for that top seat despite what has been happening in the country. Let's finish with Madam Mora.
Yeah, I think all I can say is as Kenyans and as Kenya, let us have peace. Let peace prevail. And please, let the government allow women to exercise their democratic space. Allow women to sit in the decision-making tables. Let us avoid this gender discrimination and stereotypes, and encourage women to be in the ballot. That is the only way we can achieve the 2/3 gender role. And I'm urging every woman out there who is intending to vie, who has already been in the ballot and wants to be in the ballot again, the ones in parliament, the ones who are sitting, the ones who intend to join, please don't get discouraged because of this winnism thing. We are going to work on it, and let us show up in big numbers so that we can at least reach that threshold of the 2/3 gender role.
Thank you. Thank you. That has been Madam Beatrice Mora, who is a governance expert, and a very strong word and statement that indeed we need to create their own space. And 2/3 gender rule, that is something that has even ended up in court, but we have never ever achieved it or even close to it. And we are hoping that the election cycle of 2027 will be having more women in the elections and more women in leadership positions. Sitting right next to me is Sami Meli, a political analyst. Madam Beatrice Mora, who is a governance expert. Just next to her, we have Masden Kibet, who is a communications specialist, a young leader also. And just next to him, Oscar Omondi, who is a political analyst at University of Dawn, and also, can I say you are?
I'm running for Senate in Siaya. And
now you're
Power.
You want power. You want power. All right. Trust me, all of them are politicians. You're also vying.
No, I don't want to declare mine today.
All right. So it's safe to say I was with 4 politicians, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
That Madam Mora said that if you touch me, my people will deal with you.
Oscar, stop bullying now. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this first hour. On this second hour, it's back to square, as I mentioned.